As the 2023 season comes to a close, I figured it's time to just, take a look into the 2024 season, take a look at the matchups, take a look at who might be the best teams, who might be the worst teams. So with that, let's go ahead and kick off my 2024 Way Too Early Prediction Series with the AFC North. Let's go ahead and start off with the Baltimore Ravens here. So we're going to start off with their home games. And Cincinnati, they should beat Cincinnati at home. They should beat Cleveland at home. And they should beat Pittsburgh at home. This team plays very well at M&T Bank Stadium. And they are a generally solid team. Meanwhile, the rest of their home games, they got Denver, which should be a pretty relatively easy win for them. Vegas, which should be another relatively easier win. Now, the caveat with Vegas is that they do have a tendency to play better. O'Connell looked pretty solid later on in the season, but at the same time, there are just way too many tools at Baltimore's disposal to basically make it so that Vegas will struggle. Looking ahead, they also have Philadelphia, which I believe they win that game. Washington, which I believe they win. And I believe they also win Buffalo to complete the home series sweep, going 8-0 at home. On the road, I have them losing to the Bengals, losing to the Browns, and losing to the Steelers. I think they go 3-3 in the division. The AFC North is a very good division and a very tough division to play in. So I think that Baltimore going right down the middle at 3-3 is very feasible for division games. Meanwhile, for the rest of their road games, I have them losing in Dallas, winning in Arrowhead, losing at Los Angeles against the Chargers, because I think that, Jim Harbaugh turns that team around big time. Also, they have the Giants, which should be a win. Houston, which I believe they lose at NRG Stadium. Houston is a really good and up-and-coming franchise. I am a believer in C.J. Stroud, so I feel like the Ravens dropped that one. But then the Ravens also beat the Buccaneers, in my opinion, on the road. This gives them an 11-6 record on the season, which is going to be very competitive in the AFC North. Moving on to the Cleveland Browns, we have the Browns home games, where I have them beating the Ravens, beating the Bengals, and beating the Steelers, once again going 3-0 at home against the AFC North. But then I have them losing to Dallas, losing to Kansas City, and losing to the Chargers, but beating the Giants and the Dolphins to go 5-3 at home. On the road, I have them losing to the Ravens, losing to the Bengals, and losing to the Steelers. Once again, that 3-3 split in the AFC North. But then I have them beating the Broncos, beating the Raiders, falling to the Eagles, beating the Commanders, falling to the Jags, and beating the Saints to finish up at 9-8 on the regular season. Moving on now to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them at home, beating the Ravens, beating the Bengals, and beating the Browns, going once again 3-0 at home in the AFC North. But then I have them losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Chiefs, beating the Chargers. I think that might be a bit of a trap game there for Los Angeles. The Steelers do tend to play really well for whatever reason at random times of the season. I think this is going to be kind of one of those weird-looking games. But I do have them also beating the Giants and losing to the Jets, going 5-3 at home. On the road, I have them losing to the Ravens, losing to the Browns, but beating the Bengals though at home. I think the Steelers pull off a season sweep of the Bengals. They tend to play well, and Cincinnati didn't really have the greatest of seasons. Do they bounce back? I think they bounce back a little bit, but I really think that the Bengals are going to be hurting next year. Moving on to the rest of their games, I have them beating the Broncos, beating the Raiders, falling to the Eagles, beating the Commanders, losing to the Colts against Anthony Richardson, but beating the Falcons to finish off the season at 10-7. And up next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, the last team in the AFC North. At home, I have them beating the Ravens and beating the Browns, but losing to the Steelers. I also have them beating the Broncos, beating the Raiders, losing to the Eagles, beating the Commanders, and beating the Patriots. On the road, though, is where things get a little bit dicey for Cincinnati. I have them losing to the Ravens, losing to the Browns, losing to the Steelers, losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Chiefs, losing to the Chargers, beating the Giants, beating the Titans, and beating the Panthers. This gives them a 9-8 record on the season. Alright, so taking a look at my AFC North standings as these predictions sit, I have the Ravens atop the AFC North at 11-6, the Steelers in second place at 10-7, and the Bengals and Browns tied for third and fourth at 9-8 on the regular season. Alright, well that's about going to do it for me today. If you guys did like, don't forget to smash like and subscribe, as it does help me out a whole lot. And also make sure to subscribe to see the rest of the series as well, as let me double check real quick. On Monday, we will have the NFC North's Way Too Early predictions going up as well. So, make sure you stay notified for that by hitting that subscribe button down below. Also, go ahead and check out the video over here. It's one that YouTube thinks you will love most, so why not go ahead and check it out. And with that, I will see you guys later. Peace out and have a good one.